Well, I think there's a strong case to be made that more stimulus is needed. I think Janet Yellen actually said that full employment is a possibility next year if the full $1.9 trillion is funded. And if you just look at the jobs report really clearly shows that jobs are simply not being replaced. You have stimulus checks are coming, but that doesn't really replace employment, right? So in the end, I think the need for stimulus is very, very clear here in the United States.
Michael, we've seen some fresh records in recent sessions on the S&P and the NASDAQ. Coming up to this latest earnings season, particularly around the tech names, some investors are saying this is just the last run high, the last bit that we can squeeze out of this rally. What do you think? Because it feels as though investors, again, repositioning around some very positive numbers, particularly from the likes of Alphabet.
Well, I don't think tech is really on its last legs. I know some are saying it's rallied so much, how can it possibly rally farther? But just think about what's happening, Karen. If you think about how technology is really reaching into other industries, this is what's happening in Germany in terms of the slowdown, in terms of manufacturing, just because chips are not available. So I think technology is going to continue to reach across a number of industries. That's why I think tech continues to be a driver of the market.
I just wanted to, Michael, reflect on the comments from Larry Summers. I wonder if you've got a perspective on this. You know, he's entered this debate about whether the stimulus is necessary. And whilst we know him of late for his call on secular stagnation, this time round he seems to be suggesting that the 1.9 trillion is unnecessary. What do you think of Larry Summers' position at the moment on this additional stimulus?
Well, I think it's surprising in that it certainly is a change from what he has been saying. But I will say this, that what really is the alternative? I mean, you're really either faced with stagnation and maybe high inflation down the road, or you're faced with very slow growth now with jobs not simply being replaced. So I think it's kind of the best of two bad choices. And frankly, I think that the call to be concerned about deficits, I think, is important. We should all keep that in mind. But right now, the house is on fire and needs to be put out from my perspective.
Let me understand something, Michael. I'm very confused, and you and Jeffrey have got me confused already. Is it stimulus is needed to add to the margin account of retail investors buying GameStop, or is stimulus needed actually for the underlying economy? Because I think a lot of the money from stimulus, to my mind, seems to be going to be punted on the market.
Well, I mean, first of all, GameStop has nothing to do with the stimulus plan. I know there's some narrative that this is just going to go towards buying shorted stocks, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be replacing lost paychecks. The GameStop phenomenon is kind of flaming out as we speak right now anyway. So I really do think that this is money that is going to be inserted into the economy. And I think if that money is poured out fairly soon, I think it will have a significant effect. So I think it's not wasted money. I think it's money that's well needed by the American consumer.